Today on Grumpy Man Reviews,
I'll be taking a look at the HAILEA ACO 9810 Super Silent Air Pump. During this review I shall be comparing what specifications the manufacturer has provided against what we can see in the real world scenario. These are in relation to air output and noise levels that so many of these larger air pumps can fall foul of, as they are all particularly noisy. During the test I shall be comparing it against an Eheim 400 air pump for noise levels, as Eheim is one of the better brands in the fish keeping world and they are usually very quiet, so we can see how they stack up against each other. I shall also perform a series of air tests to check under load and also under some unusual circumstances how well it can still perform. So if you have any further questions at the end of this video, please do not hesitate to pop up a message and I'll try and answer them as best as I can, as I now have this pump in constant use for a few weeks now. So now, on to the review. So okay, welcome to this review for the HAILEA air pump. It's supposed to be a silent model and this is the ACO 9810. Now I did actually have a 9820, but unfortunately it turned up and it was broken and the back order for it was another 2 months. So I've decided to go for the next model down, which is the 9810, and this one is supposed to do 30 litres per minute of air. Like I said, I did have the 9820 and unfortunately it did turn up broken where it didn't want to work. Right, I'll go ahead and start opening this box up. Just have a quick look around the outside of it. Like I said, this is showing the 9820. The 9820 and 9810, there is a massive size difference as well in the 9820. The sizes on these two photos shown on the side of the box is probably actually not far off a like and scale for it. So there's some random pictures up here, we can't really make out what they're all meaning. It just says here on the figure 1, air supply for breeding pool, for sewerage purification, for an air bath, for leg rubbing. I've never seen an air pump for leg rubbing. Maybe somebody else can tell me something else new about that. I've never seen that before. Cycle treatment. Okay, and products, spare parts and cleaning. I don't know if it's got that much air power to actually use as an air blower, but we'll soon find out. Right, and on this side of the box we have some air curves, which are shown for the 9820 and the 9810. I said the 9810 is shown on this one on the red line, and obviously the previous model I was going to test, but unfortunately I can't use it. Is a 9820. Now the primary reason for it was to do with the air pressure. I wanted a greater air pressure for it, but obviously, unfortunately, like I said, the 9820 is broken. So this model supports a voltage of 110 to 240 at 50 to 60 Hz and at 25 watts of output. Of usage of power. It provides 0.25 millipascals of air pressure. Provides 30 litres a minute, and it is apparently less than 40 decibels in noise volume. It weighs 4 kilos, and they're the size dimensions if you can make that out. If not, it's 235 by 187 by 194 millimeters. Right, what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and open the box. Now some of you may recognise the tape that was used to seal the box shut. I'm not in any way affiliated with the company that was on the tape, and I won't mention their name just for purposes. Right. Now the first thing we find in the box is obviously a user manual. I'll have a quick look inside the user manual. The user manual, obviously the first few pages, as you would probably expect, are all in Chinese, showing the pump breakdown of how it's built up inside. I'm assuming that's showing the typical diagram there, and it is all looking like it's... oh, there we go. Right, so here we go, we're heading off to some English pages now. Obviously it's saying there there's the specifications to the 9810 and 9820. Unfortunately the specifications are obviously written down still in Chinese. There's the two air curves again, on the bottom of the table here. And here it's just saying some bits of information about that.
Wake up!
I am awake. I'm doing this video review for YouTube.
Yeah.
I am?
Look.
Okay, you gonna come and help? So apparently now my son's going to come and join me. Right, so obviously there we've got some parts diagram showing here the waterproof top cover for it. I said I had previously looked at the other one that had arrived. Unfortunately, I said I couldn't salvage it. There's showing the actual parts that are made up inside the assembly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cars are helping.
Right, and for some reason there's another curve. Oh, there we go. We've got some spec data there, actually written in English so we can see it again. But obviously that was on the side of the box before.
Daddy. Is it plug? Is it plug?
Ah, is it? Yeah, it's a plug.
It's stuck here.
I'm going to have to take this out of the box. Is it? Step back, mate. Step back. So as my son is showing us, we've actually got a plug on this. It's already fitted with a UK 3-pin plug. Plug seems to be of a decent quality. Now, if this is a 35 watt device, obviously it's got a 5 amp fuse fitted. Strange. Now,
Daddy, look.
obviously normally I would expect a 3 amp fuse to be fitted to this device because obviously it doesn't even draw anywhere near the current we're using 5 amps, but for some reason it's got 5 amp in it. Right, so we'll take this out of these little...
Oh, wow. No.
Okay, so upon opening it, I've noticed the first thing I've noticed is there is a couple of scuff marks on top of the actual motor pump here. Underneath here, as I've seen on the previous model, for the 9820, underneath here there's actually a small screw, and that allows you to get to the air filter that's mounted on the top. Obviously it draws air up from either side and then pulls it down inside the pump. You've got 4 rubber feet. You've got 4 rubber feet here, obviously for the vibrations. And the casing on this model must be secured down, I would assume, by these screws that go through the feet. On the 9820, there is actually 4 extra screws which are located just underneath the feet suction cups to the side, but obviously on this model they must be held down like that.
Daddy.
Okay, the other things that come inside this bag, which I didn't get with my other one surprisingly, is we've got this multi-way tap valve. This multi-tap valve here, and a short length of rubber hose so we can attach it to it. Obviously there's a larger end and a smaller end, so the larger end would fit onto the pump. So yes, the larger end on the end would fit onto the pump, and then the smaller end obviously fit onto that barb. Like that. Now, obviously, you want it to be a snug fit, but obviously it's just not popping on for the first time here. Maybe it's because it's new and it's a little bit stiff. Right, it's not fully home, but it's on for the demonstration. So there we go. So on this particular model, it comes with 6 barbed hose outputs for it, ready for use on your aquarium, however you want to use. Right, so now I'm going to do it for a power-up test. Okay, hello everyone. Now we're back to the second test. Now this time I'm going to be trying to do a sound level test. And on this, obviously, we can see on this device, on my mobile phone here, I'm just using the mobile phone's own microphone. Realistically, for a proper sound level test, it shouldn't be tested this close to it. But for the purpose of this, it should be okay. Obviously, like I said, we're still in the 9810 model here. Let's just twist that over there. So yeah, that's the 9810 model. And at this moment in time, the end of the hose is wide open. So when I turn it on, obviously we're going to hear the air coming out of the end of the actual hose. So the microphone will be picking that up. Got 30 decibels for the quiet ambient volume. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the pump on. And once I've turned the pump on, we'll have a look at the reading. And then once we have the reading from that, I'll block up the end of the hose that's coming out of the end of the pump. I'll block it up briefly, and we'll see what the actual pump noise level will be when it's just operating as it would normally. So okay, we could see there it was currently reading 68 decibels. So fluctuating between 68 and 69 decibels with the pump as it is, with the open end actually blowing out right now. Now I'm directing it at the microphone, so you can probably hear some of the wind noise from it now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to block up the end of the hose, and we'll see what the reading is then. So okay, as you can see there, it was currently reporting between 45 and 46 decibels with the hose blocked up. Let's have a quick release of pressure. I'll have one more look. $48.49 that time. So okay then. Now although this particular device was actually claimed it was 40 decibels, and I know the microphone's not exactly on my mobile phone isn't the most accurate things, but it's not that noisy, to be honest. There is worse things you could have in the world. Let me turn the pump off just to show you for comparison. So okay, the pump's now off and we'll have the idle. Now just next to the pump, just up here, is my combi boiler for the house. Now the combi boiler, obviously everyone knows what a combi boiler normally sounds like if you've got gas into your house. So what I'll do is I'll fire the combi boiler up, and we'll see what the combi boiler is reading with the meter next to it. So roughly the same distance. We're reporting it's jumping around quite a bit, but it's roughly 55 decibels. So it's actually doing this similar comparison. We've actually now come to find out that this pump is actually a little bit quieter. So if that gives you a little comparison of what to expect when you expect to buy this pump, then I hope that helps you out. Like I said, so far I'm quite happy with it. It's nice and quiet. The package it's robust enough. The plastic feels thick and solid. There's no flex in it, so you're not expecting to get any vibration from the actual pump itself. Unlike some cheaper models, they do have a very flimsy plastic housing, and because of that, that's when you get the vibration, because it is a cheaper housing. But like I said, from this one so far, it seems very positive, and I'm happy with it so far. And what I'll do now is I'm going to hook this up to an airline. I'm going to do a proper air test on it and see how well it copes on a fish tank. The joys of doing YouTube. When your child decides to start playing with the other end of your experiment. Isaac?
Yeah?
Can you put the hose down, please? Thank you.
Everyone dancing. When are they coming?
Okay, you carry on dancing.
Second test, I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison.
Now obviously we've got this HAILEA ACO 9810, which is the model I'm reviewing at the moment, and that's currently alongside my EHAIM 400. Now EHAIM, as most in the hobby will know, EHAIM are probably the quietest manufacturers of fish or aquatic equipment, and the EHAIM range of air pumps certainly lives up to that reputation. It is probably one of the quietest pumps. So for a side-by-side comparison, although it may be a little bit unfair, I'm going to use my EHAIM 400 against the HAILEA. Right, so as you can tell, I don't know if you can quite tell, but both pumps are running. Just a quick show you now. There's a little glass bowl. I'm just going to place it on top of this first one. You might be able to hear the glass bowl vibrating there, just to show you that one is running. And you probably just about hear the bowl vibrate on top of the EHAIM there. There you go. Right, so I said both are actually running at this moment in time, so whether you can actually tell over the microphone, I'm not quite sure yet until I review the footage. What I'm going to do is, first thing, I'm going to turn off the EHAIM. So that is now just the HAILEA that's running. I'll turn the EHAIM back on again. And I'll turn the larger HAILEA off. So now that is just the EHAIM running. So there you go, you have it a little side-by-side comparison. To be honest, in the actual person, I don't know whether it's coming across on the camera that well, but both pumps, there's hardly any vibration noise difference between the pair of them. The only way I can really liken it is I would say that the vibration noise coming from this larger unit is probably more of a bassy vibration noise, whereas the EHAIM is a bit more of a tinny vibration noise. But realistically, in the real world, there is no massive amount of difference between the two. Both perform equally. I mean, this EHAIM 400 here retails between £40, I've seen it online as much as £50, and obviously this one here is about £50 also online. So for price points, they're both about the same, whereas the EHAIM only puts out just over 6 litres of air per minute. This HAILEA puts out 30 litres per minute. So there's your difference really there. Obviously you can see comparison size. If you wanted to compare it, this is how big the EHAIM is compared to HAILEA. There you go. Obviously this is showing it as a much larger unit. It's a lot more bulky. Like I said, in the real world, if you were to put this underneath your fish tank, like I said, I think you could actually probably quite happily live with this being inside the lounge of your house. If you were to have your main fish tank in your bedroom, it may be a little bit of a struggle at night to sleep with this larger pump running, just because of the fact it is a bit more of a bassy vibration, and it probably would actually travel through the house a lot easier. I'll go. So there we go. Just turn the HAILEA back on again now. Whether it's HAILEA or HAILEA, I'll let everyone argue over that one. But like I said, if you can tell, it is a bit more bassy, the vibration noise coming from this unit as opposed to the EHAIM. But that's solely to the fact that it's just a much larger unit, so of course that's going to happen. Like I said, I'm perfectly happy with it at the moment. I've connected it here with a standard bit of braided air line. So I picked up this braided air line locally, and I picked it up from my local machine mart. It comes on a big long roll at the moment. What we have here is a 2 litre jug filled with water currently. I've inverted it, and so it's actually filled up right to the top with water right now. That's sat just into a kitchen sink, and I've got a little timer just over here, so I can time how long it takes to fill this jug up. And just to show you, here is the air pump, and it is still the 9810 model. Right, so I've had to use the piece of rubber pipe that comes with what they supplied, and unfortunately I can't find another pipe that will actually fit straight into theirs. So for this purpose I've just used a little inflatable adapter hose that we can use on like lilos and things like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'll put the camera back in its position again. Now ignore the noise that's going to be coming from the pump. In fact, hang on one second, I've got another fish tank behind the camera. So what I've done is, like I said, I've filled up this jug with 2 litres of water. It's upside down, so there's nothing but water inside the jug. And the idea of the test is, if you've seen my other video, I just simply put this tube underneath the jug and then see how long it takes to fill up with 2 litres of air. So then we can time how long it takes for 2 litres of air, calculate that over the course of a minute and see if it actually figures out true. Now obviously what we're looking for here, this pump is supposed to be 30 litres a minute. So with that in mind, what this should be doing for this jug, it was expecting, as it's a 2 litre jug, this is a 30 litre pump, so 30 goes into 60 nicely and it goes 2, so expecting 2 seconds per litre, which means this 2 litre jug should take 4 seconds to fill up. That's roughly the calculation anyway. So what I'm going to do is, because I can't start the timer and the pump at the same time, I'll start the timer first, and when the timer counter gets back to 10 seconds, I'll turn the pump on at the wall and we'll see how long it takes it to fill up. Right, so I'll get myself set up. There you go. As you can see, it's really bubbling up the sink nicely here. The sink is roughly 20 centimetres deep, so it's quite happily, well, it's just there's a porcelain bowl in the bottom there that I was using for the test, and it's quite happily just filled that up and thrown that upside down. So there's plenty of power inside this little pump here, so I'm quite impressed with that. Right. Now I'll have to look back at the footage, but I believe it's probably about a second slower than it was before. Now obviously it was pumping at 4, it was doing 2 litres every 4 seconds, but now I believe it's actually doing 2 litres every 5 seconds. So instead of 30 litres per minute, after running through this airline, instead of it being 30 litres a minute, it's now going to be running at 24 litres a minute. But that is really, to be honest, I'm really impressed with that, considering it is actually running through so much airline hose. Like I said, at this moment in time, I'll just quickly show you that I've not changed anything. So it's still connected via here, it's running all the way through all of this hose on the floor that's coiled up, and then it's coming back up through into the sink here, and that's where I've just done my test now. So like I said, I'm really impressed with that actually, that it's still pumping at 24 litres per minute after going through, say, 25 metres of hose. Now that's quite impressive. Now, I don't know if you saw in the shot just, I've actually got this plastic box here. Now this plastic box I picked up from my local IKEA. Now this is no way affiliated with IKEA, it's just I'm telling you where I got it from. This little box, I said, it came from IKEA. It's rated an outdoor box. It comes with a proper clip-on lid. I think it costs £10 for it, and the idea is that I'm going to be mounting this outside of the house, and then this is going to be feeding into my fish tank inside. So I said, keep all the vibration noise outside. The reason my hose is running through the box, I'm obviously ready so I can actually put the pump straight into the box. So I said, you can see just in the bottom of there, it can run straight out and go outside. So the idea is, it's going to be going straight outside from just outside of my kitchen window here, and then it's going to run down underneath all my kitchen counters and then straight into my fish tank, which is in the wall between the kitchen and the lounge. So that's the whole idea there. So like I said, I'll come back and rejoin the video later on once I've actually done it, and then I'll just say how well it's performing with my tumbling my K-Media. Right, see you in a bit. Okay, right, as I said, I've had my air pump now running for a few weeks, and I just thought I'd show you quickly how noisy it was outside in the real world. So I'm here in the back garden now, I'm just going out the back of the house. As you can see, it's inside this plastic housing here, and then just underneath it I've got a fire extinguisher, which is actually feeding CO2 for the fish tank. Just to the side of it here, you can see the airline. That's where the airline is going back out of the house. And this is the house. This is the box that I got before that I showed you earlier in the video. Now this box is actually housing the pump, and believe it or not, these are actually 2 shoe horns. These are from IKEA as well. Now the reason I've used the shoe horns is because the shoe horns are actually flexed, so any bounce. Sorry, I don't get a better shot there. Any bounce in the box or any vibration is actually also buffered as well by that. But at this moment in time we're actually sat outside, and you can probably not even hear the air pump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the lid off now. So okay, there you can see, they've got the air pump there. It's really nice and quiet. I've got it actually on a pillow insert there as well. Pillow insert is a proper fire rated one as well, so you know, it shouldn't in theory go up in flames. Obviously there's a manual for it, so I've just kept it inside the box. So there it is. Right. It's been on for an hour. It's moderately warm underneath. I mean, because it actually is on top of a cheap stuffing pillow. It's no warmer than anything I should expect. Let me just that away. Quickly measure the temperature of the pillow. So the pillow's saying it's 27.6, which is also the output temperature for the nozzle as well. If you've probably noticed on the microphone, it's probably got a little bit noisy. That's because the pump is actually tipped right over onto its front at the moment. Like any pump, they don't like being anything other than being flat. So there we go. So that's my, as you can see from the video now, that's my intended installation. Just to keep it on the noise dampened down a little bit, I'm going to have this mounted like that. And then I will be putting the air filter back on top, just so you can actually see it. Like I said, that is the pump, and that is the air filter that's underneath it. As you can see from the video, there is actually only one cutout, because it is... Let me try and position the camera so I can show you. So this is the air filter that mounts on top of it, and this here is the only cutout, because the rest of it, all the way around, is solid. And there's just this tiny little cutout here, where the air will actually come in and go down inside the filter. So obviously the air to get into the chamber has to get drawn through the side of this filter here. Now although it's a massive sponge, it is worth bearing in mind that when the time comes to cleaning it, the dirtiest bit will be just this little area here because of that cutout. Now I did look at the larger model, the 9820, and the 9820 does have two cutouts, and it's also got a black sponge on it instead of this white one. Like I said, from the inside of the 9810 to the 9820, I was going to do a teardown on it, but to be honest I think this video is going to be dragging on long enough now once I've actually done the comparison for the air tests. So inside it, the actual mechanics for it are identical between the 9810 and the 9820. The only difference is, on this one, there is a single piston which is pumping out to one side, whereas on the 9820 it has a double-headed piston, so it pumps both ways to both sides. There's a diaphragm on both sides, so it pumps out, which is how it gets it. So basically, in a nutshell, the pump and the diaphragm that you have on one side of this side of the pump is the same on the 9820. It's just got two of them. It's got the same coil inside it. The actual electronics inside it, there is nothing really inside it. You've literally got the line and neutral feed for your mains voltage, which comes straight into the pump. It goes around two separate windings, and the pump arm drives itself backwards and forwards between the two. Like I said, on the 9810 there is just one diaphragm, and on the 9820 there is a diaphragm on both sides. They then link down into a baffle into the base of the pump, and the baffle has a labyrinth on the bottom of it which helps keep the noise and the vibration down. It's quite a clever little design after looking inside it, and I'm sure you can probably find other videos online that have a teardown. If in the meantime you do want to tear down, by all means post me some comments online, and what I'll do is I will actually go ahead and take it and open it up again and actually take some separate videos. But as I've already opened it up once for myself to inspect it, and I didn't record the videos at the time, unfortunately I don't have the videos to show you at this moment in time. Okay, if you've got any questions or if you'd like to see any other videos, please by all means drop me a message and I'll do the best I can to help. Right, thanks very much for watching guys, see you later.